Hi everyone, it's Derek from the I Ready podcast here, and this is my reaction to the 2-2 draw against Hibs in the Premiership today. Really a poor performance all round from Rangers, mitigating circumstances, and I would like to think that this is Willie Collum's last appearance as a referee, because our play aside, we weren't good enough. Let's not get away from that today. We had plenty of opportunities where we could have shot the ball, we just never. We could have put the game to bed, we never. But Willie Collum is nothing but a cheat now. I've said it before, but the amount of evidence against that man now is just unquestionable. Rangers cannot take this lying down now, because that was an absolute disgraceful performance today from the referee. Bar one thing where he did actually catch, which is incredible, but he still made a muck up of it anyway, which we'll get into. But we made 2 changes from the PSV game. We lined up McGregor, Tavernier, Goldson, Sands, Barisic, Jack, Lundstrom, Lawrence, Matondo, Kent and Cholak. On the subs bench we had McGregor, Ridvan, King, Davis, Arfield, Tillman, Morelos and Sakala. So interestingly, no Davies at all in the side. Morelos again on the bench. However, the first half was really a scrappy first half. There was no rhythm to the game from either team. No keeper really with anything to do. Hibs were chasing everything, in and out of possession, and they looked the more up for it team, whereas we were content to really just pass out from the back. And that was really frustrating from the team today. Probably the more frustrating thing though about our play was that on the occasion we did get up front, we were taking one too many touches and we were reluctant to shoot, dropping back into this usual pish of being reluctant to shoot, getting into great positions, and it's almost again we want to walk it into the net. Kent especially had about 2 or 3 chances where he done some great work, all the hard work, beating the players, and then he didn't pass or shoot. There was definitely twice where he had the opportunity to take it on himself, and he just ends up getting crowded out because he had done the mazy work, he had beat 2 or 3 players. He's an empty shot when he does that. It's worse than being a player down. He needs to stop this, or he needs to either pass or shoot, or he needs to get out of the team, because we can't afford to have passengers even at Premiership level now. However, in the last 5 minutes of the half, we did start to up our game. We played with more intent, and in the 44th minute, we were knocking the ball about well, looking for space, still reluctant to shoot though. We lost the ball, Porteous tried to pass back to the keeper, and Bashiri grabbed Cholak in the box and he went down. Fair play to Willie Collum for this, because he instantly blew, which we automatically thought was going to be a booking for Cholak, but it was a yellow card for Bashiri and a penalty to us. 100% a correct decision for the penalty. For me though, it was a red card, because there was absolutely no intent to play the ball there. He grabbed the player, the ball was almost at the keeper at this point, the Cholak was running towards him, no attempt to play the ball. Why that wasn't a red card, I do not know. However, from that penalty, Tavernier scored the penalty, hit it directly to the right with a lot of power. Keeper dived kind of in the middle, but far too much power to do anything about it. I'm sure that goal will have those on the other side smashing their Twitter keys, I'm sure. That really ended the first half there. In the second half, we needed to play a hell of a lot better, shoot when we even get just a sniff of it, and I didn't think Hibs were going to be able to keep that tempo up. However, in the second half, a really, really poor performance, but ultimately there's mitigating circumstances in the end. Hibs came out the traps and shown early on that they weren't going to take that penalty line down, and they duly did, because they scored on the 50th minute. We gave the ball away in midfield, played down the left, Tavernier didn't track the man who was on the ball, across on the deck, and Boyle managed to get in between the 2 defenders and slid in the ball into the net. All around, we shouldn't have lost the ball in midfield. I think it was Lundstrom. Tavernier should have went with the man rather than just drifting into no space at all, because there was 2 defenders there, and the fact that the attacker got in between the 2 defenders, not the first time that's happened in our defence either. Disgraceful goal to lose, to be honest. We were largely playing the same as we were, and it taken a moment of brilliance to put us 2-1 up on the 58th minute. Kent has the ball on the left, he holds it up for the overlapping Barisic, ran down the line with it, a stunning cross hit with pace into the middle, and Lawrence with a great header, just an outstanding execution all round. Just after that, on the 62nd minute, we made a couple of subs, Cholak and Lawrence off, Morelos and Arfield on, and then the first moment of controversy was on the 66th minute when Willie Collum gave Lundstrom a straight red card. He lunges in from behind as Boyle was breaking with the ball. It was in midfield, in fact it was in the Hibs half, and there was still at least 2 defenders, yes, 2 defenders in front of Boyle. So how that can be given as a straight red card is beyond me. It was a foul, yes. It was a yellow card, yes. There was absolutely no way in hell that was a red card. I cannot wait to see his match report for that, because if that says anything about violent play, then he's out on his arse as far as I'm concerned. Despite that, there were several instances where Hibs players done the exact same thing and they got yellow cards earlier on in the game. 68th minute, Matondo came off, Davis came on, and then a wee bit more sympathy for the referee here, because in the 75th minute, Morelos was given a straight red card. It was a long kick out from our back. Morelos looking at the ball, he notices the player behind him. He does swing his arm out, it catches him with the forearm in the face, and he was given a straight red card there. Now, certainly, yellow cards have been given for that. He did know he was there, absolutely, so it wasn't a case he was just looking at the ball, but there's yellow cards been given for that several times. I think the problem we've got though is it's Morelos. His reputation goes before him, which shouldn't be an excuse, but it just does. Rangers have highlighted this before. Morelos needs to be wiser about that as well. But when you give an absolute prick of a referee a sniff of an opportunity to give us a red card, a straight red card, then he's going to take it. So that's where I've got sympathy, because it was borderline red card, potentially a yellow card, because I've seen yellow cards given for me. But if you give the referee the chance, then he's going to take it. And obviously, it's Willie Collum. He likes to make a name for himself. Then he's given the red card. What is inexplicable from Collum is the fact that he was giving us yellow cards for the exact same thing he was letting Hibs players go for in the same game. You know, it's inexplicable. There was several players for Hibs in that first half teetering on, bordering on a red card. Certainly there was one challenge where it was a high kick up at the touchline. A foul was given, no yellow card. It was the worst foul of the game. And there was yellow cards given for previous fouls. Doesn't make sense whatsoever. Collum is an absolute disgrace. We made a sub after that. Kent came off and King came on the 78th minute. And then it was really just backs against the wall for the rest of the game. We were rather weirdly kicking the ball out of play, just giving the ball back, giving possession back. I know it's difficult with only 9 men, but at the same time we were giving Hibs that opportunity rather than trying to just get the ball up the park and keep it there. We were just giving them back possession. And unfortunately, the equaliser did come on the 92nd minute. It had been coming for the previous 17 minutes beforehand. It was a cross in from the left, headed out of our box by their attacker to their player, who had a great shot from about 25 yards into the left side. Goldson, he was the closest player. He kind of turned his body. I don't know, he's maybe the whipping boy just now, but again, could have maybe done a wee bit better, but it was a great strike none the same. So that's how the game ended up. Dropped points, disappointing. I think Willie Collum, that's another issue. Rangers need to take a massive stand on that now. There is no question about that. But at the same time, before that point, we weren't playing the way we should have been playing. We weren't matching them physically. We weren't matching the desire. It was poor all round on our part. Several players not playing. And the fact that we're still not shooting when in possession, that is the bigger issue for me. Now, obviously, there's an issue there with straight red cards, etc. in terms of the next game coming up. We'll see what the referee puts in his report. I think it'll be a bunch of lies. However, we've got the massive game against PSV. We've got to take, this game aside. We've got to look at PSV now. I think Dave will be back with a post-match after that. Beforehand, Dave and I will be back with another main podcast. I'll probably be out on Tuesday at some point. So, try and enjoy the rest of your weekend as much as you can. Thanks for listening and goodbye.